should be fine, I hope. Right,
we're not the same. We get to carry each other. Too late tonight to drag the past out into the light. We're one, but we're not the same. We get to carry each other.
Hello, and I'm here today with Katie Holland and Carolyn. Welcome to Chit Chat Cafe. Please do leave us your comments as we go through the session today. We're going to be talking about Katie's course. So first of all, I'll just hand over to Carolyn if there's any updates.
Okay, hello everyone. So as quite a number of you are taking part in courses already as part of the Mental Wealth Academy online programme, we're about halfway through, and we've just got one more course to start, which is the Art and Wellbeing course, starting on Friday at 5 o'clock. So if you haven't checked that out, do have a look on the website and book that into your diary. So let me just think of a few other updates. The journal writing course is coming to an end. That's been working on a really interesting platform called Slack, but there is still time to join and download the 5 sessions of journal writing exercises from Magnus Hawkins. So and what else? So my course, Discover Yourself, is underway, and Sarah's course, Working Through Worry, is also underway. And again, with both those, you can join and catch up because everything is kind of recorded and set up for that. However, we have a special guest today, Katie Holland, who started her embodiment through movement course last Thursday with the first session, which I've done, and it was a fantastic experience. So we've invited Katie along today to talk about kind of how she got into this work and a bit about the course itself, and encourage you to sign up and join in that course. So hello, Katie.
Hi, good morning.
So could I perhaps start by just asking you about how how did you get into dance and belly dance in particular? What brought you into that particular world?
Well, I was studying dance from when I was 3, and I grew up in England, and I was studying ballet and tap and modern, as lots of little girls do here, and I really loved dance and I wanted to dance, but those styles weren't really my kind of thing, and they gave me a really amazing sort of grounding and foundation in how to move my body and how to connect with my body. And when I was around 14, I saw a video of U2, and it's a song a lot of people know. It's called Mysterious Ways, and they had a belly dancer performing with them for the concert, and I saw this on the TV, and I said, that's what I want to do. That's it. That's the thing. So I just started my GCSEs at that point, and we were having careers interviews, and as we were going to do them, so in the second year, and so I had my interview with the careers advisor, and she was talking to me about A levels and future and everything, and I said, I think I'm going to go to art college, but actually really what I want to do is be a belly dancer. And it was one of those moments where she could have completely crushed me, or what she did do was say, I think that you can do that, and I'll go and have a look at the adult education courses and and see what I can find, because yeah, it was
An
unbelievable.
amazing response.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
wish
if
I
I
had
could
teachers like
meet that woman now. And she went away and she actually printed off, because at that point I was in Leicester and there were around 3 classes all across the city mostly. And she went away, she printed off this adult education information for me, posted it back to my class, me in my classroom at school. And and I've still got that piece of paper.
Nice.
And as it turned out, I couldn't actually get to any of those particular classes because of times and where they were and everything. So it then took me about a year to find a teacher and somebody that was easier for me to get to. And it was actually my mum, and she found it in a local free newspaper. And it was an article about this lady who was sort of 62, 63, and she'd retired and taken up belly dance and was now teaching classes. So I contacted her, and then of course the class was on the night that I had a part-time job as a waitress and I couldn't change my hours. And I was thinking, why, I'm foiled every time. And she said, Sylvia is the lady, and she said, okay, look, if you want, you can come here on a Sunday afternoon, but it's just going to be when I can fit you in. So it could be once a month, it could be once in 3 months, and that's all I can offer you. And but it would be a one-to-one class. And so me and my friend did that, and then we did lots and lots of practice in between, and then it just built up from there. So by the time I was 18, 19, I then started to assist Sylvia with her classes, because she's saying she would say that my body could show the movements and she could do the talking. And so it was a really good learning, and again a good foundation for me as a teacher, because I really had to learn it inside out, and I had to make my body do what she was explaining so that it was really clear for the students. And then it built up and up, and I'm 41 now, so it's 26 years this year that I've been studying and teaching and performing.
Nice one. That's really interesting.
How do you feel that what you're doing kind of links in with well-being and emotional health and those sorts of things?
Well, again, for me, because I was dancing from such a young age, I always equated dance and movement with feeling good. So no matter what was happening in my life, whether stress at school or falling out with friends or, all of this school type stuff, I always knew that when I went to dance class, I came out feeling good and I felt good during it. So I had that realization at a young age that dance meant feeling happy, and it meant that my body felt really nice and relaxed. And then as time went on and I started to teach, and when I was living in England still, I had weekly classes, so obviously women were coming week in, week out for years, and I would get to know them and know more about their life and their background and their stories, and it was all kinds of things, from women going through divorce to experiencing abuse to depression, like so many different things. Some wanted to come because they wanted to lose weight, some it was to socialise. So again, I just started to get all of these pieces of information that there were so many different reasons that people were coming for these classes that were different to maybe what I had realised, because they were different to why I was doing it. And I started to see how beneficial it was for people, and obviously they were telling me as well, because they were going through these things in their life, and they would say to me, coming to this class every week it really gets me through, and this is the highlight of my week, and I can just carry on again, and it's just a really feel good feeling. And so it was a bit like a jigsaw puzzle, really, and because of what I was studying as well, that was more with sacred dance and Reiki and massage. everything just started to build up together so that I could develop my own style of sacred dance therapy, which then became wake and belly dance.
Gosh, I mean, I think there's a lot of joy associated with dance, isn't there? And just kind of accessing that joy of movement is incredibly good for our mental health. Generally.
Yeah. So if you think about all cultures and all kinds of cultural or societal events and celebrations, it always involves dance, whether it's everybody together.
That's true.
Sorry, everybody together, or if it's in a culture where men and women are separate, they still dance. So it's really inherent in everything that we do as a way of connecting and also as a way of release. And this doesn't necessarily mean that release has to be terrible and upsetting and something that's horrible to go through. I think this is what a lot of people don't realise, that release can be really joyful because you're setting yourself free from something. And yes, it can involve crying and going into an abyss of something. But by dancing and moving your body, it's like it's taking you through it, because you're taking action with yourself and it's moving you towards that light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
So, and one of the questions that I wanted to ask you was about, we were talking before this call started, and you were saying about travelling around the world, teaching, and you know, you are internationally renowned doing this work. Can you say a little bit more about that? You know, where have you been around the world, and where's your best places to go? Whatever.
Yeah. Well, in 2006, I moved to India, and this was originally supposed to be for 3 or 4 months, and it was to work in a holistic centre. Because at that time I was teaching dance and performing, and I was also teaching Reiki and massage and doing massage, and I was also teaching baby massage as well for parents. So I went with my family. My children were 3 and 6 at the time, so it was quite a... When I think back now, I didn't really think about it. I just did it, and so we went, and then that 3 months turned into 9 years, and and during that I was performing all over India, and that was absolutely not what I expected to happen at all. I mean, so many things happened that I didn't expect. The performing was really one of those synchronistic meetings when I was dancing on a beach, and an event manager happened to be there and saw me and said, will you come and dance at a wedding that I'm organising on Saturday on my boat? And then everything just went and I ended up doing all kinds of things, from celebrity Bollywood weddings to TV shows to film premieres and lots of corporate events. So it was a really amazing experience, and very difficult as well at times.
Yeah, I bet it was challenging.
Yeah, so I've got all kinds of tales to tell about about that. And then after that, I lived in Bali for 2 years, and then the last 3 years I was living in Bulgaria. And now I'm not quite sure with the situation in the world and everything. It's kind of changed things, because I thought I was going to probably be based in Bulgaria for some time. But now I've decided I'm not going to be, so things are pretty open for me. I'm always drawn back to India. That's the place that I really feel most at home and it's most in connection with. But also within that, I was teaching and performed in Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand. It's been mostly in Europe and then in Asia. And I've really loved all of the places that I've been to. And then I've studied different kinds of sacred dances related to that country and that culture while I've been there. So in Bali, I was studying Balinese dance. In India, Bharatanatyam and Osho dynamic meditation, and then in Bulgaria, the Bulgarian folk dances, and then another sacred dance called Panyaridmi. So
amazing. I was just going to ask you about that actually, because I remember coming to a workshop before we knew each other very well at all, and perhaps you probably don't even remember that I would have been there. But it was a workshop you did in Southampton about,
I do remember.
Maybe 2012 or 2013.
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah.
And you did some sacred dance there. Or you did like a meditation dance type.
I think it was probably a Nepalese dance, because when I was in India, I was also going to Nepal as well and studying.
Yeah.
It's a Buddhist classical dance.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what you were talking about. Yeah, and I found that fascinating, and I loved it. I really, really loved it. It was it was just such a great day. It was so good to do. It really, and you talked about how the movements, kind of, they all came, you'd spent ages sort of learning this, and you had to go every day, and it was great.
Yeah, it's really been a huge, like a really magical experience learning with teachers from those countries who have grown up with those dances, and obviously with all of the myths and the legends that go with them. So the information that I got, and also just from being in those countries to learn it as well, it is very different to obviously learning in the West. So I feel really privileged that I was able to do that, and will continue to do that as well. And it's just all, like I say, these building blocks that were coming together, and realizations that I was having that yes, you can dance and work with technique and choreography, because obviously when you learn a dance you need those techniques so that you can move your body and it can look as the style of dance should look. But I think what was happening for me, because at that point I'd been learning belly dance for 12 years when I moved to India, and I was needing that deeper level. And when I saw the classical Indian dances, I realised that that's what was missing for me, and that I wanted that within Middle Eastern dance. And so it took me on a huge journey, and really what it always came back to was me. It's really about connecting with your heart and with your emotions, and whatever those emotions may be, and really working at dropping all of the masks and dancing from that heart space.
I suppose I should check. I've got more questions, but has anyone else asked a question? Sarah, do you want to just check?
I've got it open, so nobody's commented at the moment, but please do leave us a comment. Anything that you want to ask Katie, or any of us, or something about the subject. So please do give us some feedback and let us know, even if your comment is just to say, hey, this is a great convo. Or hey, what are you guys doing? Either way, we want to know. Tell us. So go ahead, Carolyn.
All right. So another question I had was, you talked about women coming to your classes. Is this something that men can do as well, or is this very much something for women?
No, it's for everybody. And in fact, I just this week have finished, because I offer one-to-one sessions as well, and I've just finished a course with a couple who wanted to do awaken belly dance together for their relationship, and it was really amazing, because we did sessions separately, and then the final one, it was with them both together. And also for quite a few courses, couples have come, and sometimes men on their own as well. And Yeah, it's completely open to everybody, and I've always felt that it should be available to anybody, because we're also really working with the masculine and feminine energies within us, which we all have, and there are many men who want to connect more with their feminine side and bring that into an integration. And in the same way, there's also lots of women that want to connect more into their feminine side, or maybe for men or women who have had surgery, like transgender surgery, and lots of people who, yeah, they're looking for the other side of themselves. They've attended sessions, so from my side, anybody can attend.
Okay.
Nice.
Right. So yes. So do you want to tell us a bit more about the course itself? That's better to say something about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's get the specifics in. We should, shall we?
Yeah. So what would someone expect if they kind of signed up for your course?
Okay. So we're going to be working through the different energy centers each week. So people might know them as chakras. So they're these portals of energy that each person has within their body. And we've got 5 sessions. So we started last week with the roots, which is our foundation. It's our base that anchors us to the earth, and it anchors us to our bodies. And then we're going to work up, and depending what happens with the group, and because I'm very much feeling into the energy of the group, so I have a loose structure, if you like, but also depending on the day, how things feel, and maybe what people have fed back to me during the week, it might alter slightly. So my loose structure is to work up to the heart, and then to integrate the heart and the lower chakras by the end of the course. And this will be through the movements. We're working mostly with these fluid belly dance movements, so circles and 8s, which, if you can imagine a lotus flower, or a flower of life. Actually, I've handily got a flower of life here. So if you think about the movements, figures of 8 and circles, they're all contained within this flower of life. And this is the shape that we're making with our hips. It's like we're doing figures of 8 this way, we're doing them this way, we're doing them this way. And if you can imagine it like a lotus flower, that we're building the petals up. And this is to work with the energy that we have within our body, with the emotions that we're carrying, and also epigenetically. So this is where you're carrying the patterns of your ancestors in your DNA and in your cellular memory, and not often we don't even realize. So this can affect the way that we carry ourselves, our posture, our beliefs, our thoughts, the kinds of illnesses that we attract. And so it's really about setting ourselves free from ourselves. So through Awakened Belly Dance and the embodied movement, we're exploring what's going on in my body, because it's going to be unique and personal for each of us. And it doesn't mean that everything that's ever happened to you and everything that's ever happened to your ancestors is suddenly going to go bum and you've got to deal with it. It's really about what's coming to the surface for you at the moment. So what I focused on last week was about really grounding, being in our body, and about the fear that we've been experiencing with this situation in the world, and about really coming back to ourselves and feeling safe in our bodies. And this week I'll be focusing, it's more on the sacral, which is the element of water. So it's about emotions and flow, and how we're flowing through life and through the situations in our life. And also what my feeling has been is looking at grief and the way that we're we're being triggered into a very deep collective grief, and working with that. So it's very different for everybody. For some people, they can feel very emotional, and tears can come up, and screaming and shouting. For other people, they can feel really relaxed and get different sensations in their bodies. So it just depends on you. I can't say this is going to happen to you, or that's going to happen. And also some weeks might be stronger than others, depending again on what's happening for you at this time. So hopefully that makes sense.
Just to kind of technically as well, what if someone joined? So someone on the course can join you on Zoom. Is that right, for the live session?
Yeah.
So that's the kind of the group, if you like. But that's recorded as well. So I wasn't on the live session, but I was able to watch it a couple of days later, and and just join in as a video, essentially.
So I guess that question's sort of for me to answer, I suppose, in terms of the way the website and the course works. So when you sign up, you can sign up at any time throughout the 5 weeks, and you'll be able to then access the grounding video that Katie's done, and what's the other one? The space protection. So these are two important exercises to do to prepare yourself then for the workshops. And as the workshops happen, the recording will be uploaded into the course. So everything you need is within the course, and you'll find the link to the live Zoom sessions in there as well. So we also, because the Mental Wealth the Mental Wealth Academy online is happening right till the end of August, you get access to all of that till the end of August, even though the course, the live component finishes just before the end. So you can kind of catch up.
And also you don't need to have any dance experience to do this. And sometimes people are worried and they say, oh, but I've never danced, or I'm not a good dancer, or am I too this to dance, or am I too that? And it really, really doesn't matter, because this isn't about how it looks. It's about the shapes that you're making with your body, and feeling that movement within you. So it's not about the aesthetic. The way that I originally trained with belly dancers, everybody does this with the technique and with a focus on performance, and it's very much about the aesthetic. This is about what's happening inside. So it really isn't about being perfect, or it's none of those things. It's really about connecting with your own body.
This is the feeling, not what it looks like. It's nice. So open to anyone, and you can you don't, if you've missed anything, you can catch up, and if anyone's sort of wondering, they thinking to themselves, well, I'm not very good online, I don't really know how to move around, that kind of thing. I've done some videos that will show you and guide you exactly how you can move around the website and find everything that you need. And they're on the help page of the website, which is found at the bottom footer, but they're also on the Facebook page, so you can check that out, familiarise yourself with it all, and then go and give it a go, because it's well worth it. So
I think we're probably coming to the end of our time.
I think so. It's been really interesting though. Great to have you.
Really interesting. Just to hear, some of the background and how you've got into this whole amazing line of work. It's brilliant.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Just say to everybody out there, come and give it a go.
Yes.
There's quite a few opportunities now that we've got going during this summer period. So
we've got loads going on. It's so great, and we've got the forum chat rooms there as well. So within the course community, with Katie's course and with all the courses, there's an opportunity to connect with other people doing it as well and talk to the facilitators. So it's really an opportunity to connect with people. This isn't a box standard kind of online course where you're just on your own doing it. You can do it that way, but you can also be part of a group and connect. And I think at the moment that's just like so important. Yeah. So yeah, join us.
Okay, so shall we say farewell? And see you again shortly.
Yeah. See. So when are we back? Is it? I've closed my diary.
So I think next Tuesday evening. Is it at 7 o'clock? Yeah. So
right.
We've got another Chit Chat Cafe then, but also there's the mindfulness session that will be on Facebook again. The link on Saturday at 4 o'clock. Yeah.
Fab. Right. See you then, guys.
Hey. All right.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Too late tonight to drag the past out into the light. We're one, but we're not the same. We get to carry each other.